Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Friday, December 2nd, 2022. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin with news related to both WWE and AEW. William Regal is expected to be returning to WWE very soon, according to a report posted yesterday by PW Insider's Mike Johnson. The report mentions quote-unquote rumblings from within the company that Regal will be back in a backstage role shortly, although nothing has been confirmed as of this recording. Regal, who has been with AEW since last March, took part in an angle Wednesday night on Dynamite that saw him brutally attacked by AEW World Champion MJF, stretchered out of the arena and taken away in an ambulance. The PW Insider report speculates that this may have been done to write Regal out of AEW storylines permanently. Last Saturday, hours before WWE's Survivor Series War Games matches, Paul Levesque tweeted out a video clip of Regal doing his trademark War Games catchphrase from his time as NXT General Manager and WWE's Director of Talent Developmental and Head of Global Recruiting. Regal had been with WWE in an in-ring and behind-the-scenes capacity since 2000 and was long considered one of Levesque's most trusted friends and advisors within the company, but was let go last January during a string of dismissals of Levesque loyalists by then WWE Chairman Vince McMahon. In ratings news, Wednesday night's episode of AEW Dynamite on TBS, live from the Indiana Farmers Coliseum in Indianapolis, drew the lowest rating in the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic that the show has done since it was running against NXT on the USA Network last year, according to WrestleNomics. Nevertheless, in overall viewership, the 870,000 viewers who tuned in on Wednesday were comparable to the 880,000 who tuned in the week before, according to Showbuzz Daily. The rating in the key demo was .26, down 18.75% from last week's rating, and the lowest since March 31st, 2021. The .26 rating translates to 344,000 viewers. In news on recent pay-per-view buy rate activity, in this morning's Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer is reporting that WWE Survivor Series Premium Live event garnered 8,700 traditional buys on pay-per-view, which is up 24.3% from Crown Jewel. Meltzer notes the number is down 21.4% from the company's last non-weekday afternoon show, Extreme Rules, which also featured the return of Bray Wyatt. In more WWE news, the 20th annual Tribute to the Troops special will air on Saturday, December 17th at 2:30 p.m. on Fox, according to an official announcement. It had been previously reported that the airing time might differ depending on the market, but that is no longer the case. Matches for the special were taped after the November 11th SmackDown tapings at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Yesterday's edition of WWE Main Event on Hulu featured the main roster debuts of two NXT talents in matches which took place last Monday night at the Raw tapings at the Norfolk Scope. Joe Gacy, who has been a member of the NXT roster since June 2021, battled Cedric Alexander in a losing effort, while Zoe Stark, who has been with NXT since February of 2021, defeated Dana Brooke. It's not known if these were only main roster tryouts or if Gacy and Stark have been permanently moved to the main roster. WWE has given main event tryouts to other NXT talents such as Cameron Grimes and Duke Hudson in recent weeks. In Impact Wrestling news, a vignette was aired during last night's Impact Wrestling on Access TV that appeared to show Eric Young being killed off in storyline by fellow Violent by Design member Diener.
Why did you make me do this? We've been plagued by failure. We have been since the inception. No! We can fix this! Yes, we can. You can. You are violence. Do what you were born to do. Kill the sickness.
Young, a two-time Impact World Champion who has been back with the company since July 2020, is being reported by PW Insider and other outlets as heading back to WWE, where he competed from 2016 to 2018 in NXT, and from 2018 to 2020 on the main roster as part of the Sanity faction. Also on the show, Mickie James beat Deonna Purrazzo in a match in which James's career was on the line. Steve Maclin beat Frankie Kazarian. Rich Swann beat Bully Ray by disqualification, and Moose beat Bhupinder Gujjar. In streaming news, a new streaming platform that is planned to include pro wrestling content will be debuting in early 2023, according to an official press release. Called Premier Streaming Network, it is described as featuring, quote, combat sports, pro wrestling, and entertainment live events and libraries, traditional sporting events, documentaries, and original content series, end quote. The platform will be run by Paul Owen, who also helped in the launch and management of both WWE Network and UFC Fight Pass, according to the release. Joining Owen at the helm will be longtime TV producer and programming director Josh Chernoff. The exact nature of the pro wrestling content Premier Streaming Network would carry and whether it would be original or archival was not yet made known. We'll keep you updated when more information becomes available. In Game Changer Wrestling news, former ECW World Tag Team Champions The Sandman and Too Cold Scorpio are scheduled to reunite for GCW's event tomorrow night at Pop's Nightclub in Sauget, Illinois, according to an announcement made last night on Twitter. The veteran duo is set to face the Second Gear Crew and Los Macisos in a handicap match. Sandman, age 59, has not wrestled since October of 2021 and will be making his GCW debut. The 57-year-old Scorpio has appeared regularly for GCW in 2021 and 2022. The two men reigned as ECW Tag Team Champions back in 1995 and have not teamed together since 1998. In news from around Japan, according to a statement issued this morning by New Japan Pro Wrestling, Chase Owens will miss the rest of New Japan's World Tag League Tour as he returns home to the United States due to a death in the family. Owens has been teaming with fellow Bullet Club member Bad Luck Fale as part of the ongoing tournament. The pair will now forfeit their final 5 matches, with their scheduled opponents receiving an automatic 2 points. And Tatsumi Fujinami closed out a run of celebratory 50th anniversary shows on Thursday in the Shibuya section of Tokyo. Held at the Yoyogi National Gymnasium 2, the result saw the Japanese wrestling legend and owner of the pro wrestling company Tradition fall to current New Japan superstar Hiroshi Tanahashi in 11 minutes 44 seconds via the High Fly Flow. The show was broadcast on New Japan's streaming service NJPW World. Among his many accolades, Fujinami, who turned 69 years old on December 28th, is a 6-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion and is a member of both the WWE and Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fames. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.